everyone, and welcome back to Faith and Freedom. I'm Shemane Nugent. You know what? We live in the greatest country on earth, but right now, Washington is holding hardworking Americans hostage while your tax dollars go to fund goldfish sex studies. Let that sink in for a moment. Here's the damage from this government shutdown. The real casualties: air traffic controllers, missing mortgage payments, the people who are keeping planes from crashing. And then there's families on SNAP benefits wondering how they're going to feed their kids. Essential workers declared non-essential when the lights go out. Meanwhile, your tax dollars still funding goldfish mating studies. And how about this one? $600 for Pentagon toilet seats. We can't keep the government open, but somehow there's always money for ridiculous grants, empty buildings, collecting dust since the Obamacare subsidies kicked in, and projects that make you wonder if anyone's actually reading these budgets. So what started this mess? A lot of folks point to the Affordable Care Act spending spree as the moment we stopped pretending deficits matter. Every administration since has just kept the party going. And now, well, that's why we're here. Joining me today is Dr. John Fleming, Louisiana State Treasurer and Senior Advisor to President Trump. And if anyone knows where the bodies are buried in the federal budget, it's him. Doctor, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thanks, Shemane. It's great to be on with you. And, speaking of Obamacare, I was in the House of Representatives. I was a congressman from 2009 to 2017. And I voted against Obamacare. And I said then that big bill, 3,000 pages, not one word was there that would lower cost of care, and that one day we would rue the day that this was ever passed. And now we're there. Your out-of-pocket expenses, your premiums, everything is very costly. The system is very inefficient. It's hard to get an appointment, and then it's hard to get the results from the appointment. It's only gotten worse. And of course, we have tons of middlemen in all of this who are raking off the cash on top, and the healthcare providers and the patients are the ones left holding the bag.
You know, it's so sad because we've got air traffic controllers who are just pawns in a budget fight. While, now this blows my mind, shrimp treadmill studies get funded. Have we completely lost our minds?
Yeah, there's always crazy stuff in these budgets. And the reason why you bring up healthcare is it is connected to this shutdown, because the Democrats are holding this whole idea of the Obamacare premiums hostage. They're saying we need more subsidies from taxpayers because the Affordable Care Act is no longer affordable if it ever was. And so they want about $1.5 trillion of extra spending that didn't exist, whereas Republicans are saying, no, let's keep spending where it is, no need to add anything, and then we can negotiate a budget later. But that's the reason why we've gone a month. And you're right, pretty soon we're going to have a breakdown of our system, our air traffic controllers, TSA, SNAP benefits are about to run out. This is not good, and the Democrats are all responsible for this.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Is it fair to trace this back to the Obamacare spending era, or is this a bipartisan disaster that everyone knows? I mean, owns. Who is voting for shrimp sex scandals? I mean, it blows my mind.
Well, those are the ridiculous things, but they're small amounts compared to the real problem. And again, so I can take you through it. CR, or continuing resolution, is really holding spending at its current level until you negotiate the final bill at the end of the year. And the problem with that is there's a lot of wasteful things. They're spending on things that aren't really needed any longer. That's the reason why you need a new budget. But the other part of this, and why Obamacare is a big part of this, is the Obamacare premiums for single individuals. They've been skyrocketing, and Democrats, particularly under Biden, demanded more and more taxpayer subsidies to make them affordable, which they're not affordable unless again, government pays for it. And also you've got Medicaid expansion under Obamacare. And that too is a problem because you've got able-bodied people on Medicaid, free health care, who are perfectly able to work and earn it through their jobs. So that's what the Democrats want. They just want more taxpayer money, more dependency from people, rather than getting our country's economy up and a more efficient government.
How long do you think this is going to last?
It can't last much longer. I give it maybe through the weekend and that's it, because we're going to begin to see a breakdown of our system. I mean, our travel, you're going to start seeing, bureaus closing. It's unsustainable as it is. And again, all the Democrats have to do is just vote for spending the way it is currently. That's all you have to do. Don't vote for more spending that we don't need. That's the simple
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. I mean, if you and I ran our budgets, our household budgets like this, we'd be bankrupt. So
Oh,
it's blowing so many people's minds. I mean, in a way, this is a good thing so that people can realize all the government waste, all the government spending. We can't just continue to write blank checks and spend
yep,
forever.
absolutely.
I'm grateful for people like you calling this out, and hopefully it does only last through the weekend. But what if it goes on? What happens next?
Well, again, there's going to be a lot of problems. You've already heard that the EBT benefits, the SNAP
Mhm.
benefits, nutritional benefits, that's all going to end soon. So you're going to have people, poor people who are going to be starving. And again, all we ask is that we just continue spending the way it is until we negotiate the budget for the following year. That's all we're asking for. And you got Chuck Schumer, who knows that AOC is going to run against him and probably win against him. And so he's putting up a tough fight because he's having to stand against the radical left wing socialist, Marxist in the party, the Democrat Party. And he's trying to show how tough he is. But this is all about Schumer's reelection. That's the reason why we call it the Schumer shutdown, because that's
Mhm.
precisely what it is.
And they're trying to spin it and make it look like it's the Republicans' fault. But
Yeah,
I wonder, if any Democrats are really going to understand the depth of this insanity and this spending and how we can stop it. How do we, as taxpayers, we found out with Doge, all this government waste.
right.
Why don't we get a rebate? Do we get next year off? We don't have to pay our tax. I mean, it makes you stop and pause and go, this is not right.
Right. Well, the answer is simple. We just need to vote in more Republicans, and this nonsense will stop. Because you see, we can't continue spending the way we are. Understand that from George Washington to George Bush, 43, we built up a $11 trillion national debt. It's almost quadrupled since George Bush. The highest cost line item in our budget today is the interest on our 37 trillion national debt. So we cannot continue like this. It's really embarrassing, to be honest with you. And there are a lot of people in Congress that want to fix this, but not enough to get the kind of budgets passed that are going to make our government efficient again, and that we can begin to pay down the debt that's so necessary.
All right, 1 minute left. Name a couple of things that you would love to see us eliminate in government spending.
Well, the first thing on my list, and it's a big issue in my state of Louisiana, is carbon capture and sequestration, which there's billions, hundreds of billions of dollars set aside to pay companies to drill holes and stuff carbon dioxide down there that they've taken off of industrial processing. And this is all in the name of climate change ideology, which is absolutely unnecessary. The EPA, in fact, is come out and they're passing a rule that will take CO2 out as a recognized pollutant in the air. And so we're going through all this wasteful nonsense, and it's a dangerous technology that's affecting landowners' land values. So that's the first thing I would do when I go to Washington. I'm running for the United States Senate. against Senator Bill Cassidy, a rhino who voted to convict President Trump. As you said, I was President Trump's deputy chief of staff in the White House in his first administration.
Well, Dr. Fleming, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you come back and we'll have better news all around.
Absolutely. Glad to be with you today and look forward to it. Thank you.
Oh, don't go away. We've got much more. My husband, Ted, is going to be joining us next to talk about healing and Mother Nature. But first, I want to talk about Mike Lindell. And we need to support patriots who have products that are made right here in the USA. All he wants to do is give you a good night's sleep. Right now, MyPillow is running their biggest 3-in-1 sale ever. Check it out. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code FAITH for a discount. MyPillow.com, and the promo code is FAITH. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Ted and I have some very exciting news. And if you know us, you know that our dogs they're just like family. And after years of searching for clean, effective supplements, we decided to create our own. Uncle Ted's Natural Canine Supplements are powered by bioflavonoids. That's a plant-based boost to help your dog stay sharp, strong, and healthy.
My dogs are so sharp, so strong, so healthy. Now, I might not look very sharp, strong, or healthy because I've been duck hunting all morning. And Sadie, Coco, and Jackson they're the happiest dogs in the world. And this stuff that we supplement them with, GetUncleTeds.com. Just if you love your dogs, GetUncleTeds.com. We love our dogs so much that we want to make sure that they get natural, beneficial supplements and treats and some of the medicinal stuff that we have. We have a bunch of mad scientists that found the natural, organic, healing through nature ingredients that helps Sadie, Coco, and Jackson be as strong and healthy a duck hunter as you could ever dream.
GetUncleTeds.com for more information and to order yours. Okay, Ted, I brought you on. Thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure. I love this host. I get to snuggle with this host off camera. We do
snuggle off camera. We do. We're not here, but we do off camera. Okay. I want to talk to you about nature as healer. You know, we live in a world where people need, believe it or not, therapy apps, meditation retreats, and prescription pills just to feel grounded. Meanwhile, you and I know that the cure is free to everybody and it's available to everyone. It's called the woods. But the second that you tell somebody who's hunting that hunting is part of that healing and they don't know anything about hunting, they think that you're crazy. So I get asked all the time, I'm sure you do, if you love animals so much, how can you hunt? So here's what I'm going to lay out the question, then I'm going to let you take it away.
Thank you.
Here is the truth that nobody wants to hear, that hunters are the real conservationists.
Ultimately.
We're funding wildlife programs, managing populations, living with the land instead of paving over it. So it helps people, but how can you help people understand how hunting not only heals us, but also conserves wildlife as well?
Well, just take a good look at this guy. I mean, really feast your eyes upon this very happy Detroit muscle guitar player, father, husband, grandfather, dog trainer, owner, lover. Venison is the manifestation of a balanced, healthy biodiversity. Now, I'm just a guitar player, never went to college, really too busy learning stuff. And if you want healthy air, soil, and water, you have to have healthy, diverse, natural wildlife habitat, which is the only goal. It's not about what can we shoot. It's not about what we can kill. No. The only goal of the hunting American and worldwide conservation families is to have health and balance, because your healthy life can only come from a healthy nature, and it's not going to come from the mall or Disney World where they rape and pillage gazillions of acres of wetlands. What I do as a hunter is I balance the herd every year, and it's the only real natural food in the world. But beyond hunting, let's say you don't hunt, you can feel better today if you find a park, if you find a small woods in Newark, New Jersey, which is some of the best deer hunting in the world, by the way, best bear hunting in the world.
Pretty much every park, right? There's deer nearby. But
well,
yeah,
but I always talk about on our Ted Nugent Spirit of the Wild show. Thank you very much for supporting what Shemane and I have celebrated and promoted, because we don't have to defend hunting, because quite honestly, it's perfect. Take thy quiver and thy bow. Genesis in the Bible, God said, "Get me some venison," because He knew that these creatures were our sustenance. There are canary in the coal mine. But I'm telling you, if you just learn to take a deep breath, and I'm 77 years old this year, and I've been hunting since an hour before daybreak this morning in the marsh with my dogs. Before the ducks ever showed up, I was so at ease, excited about the incoming waterfowl, hopefully, and ultimately. But if you get outdoors, put down the electronic devices. My song, Tooth, Fang, and Claw, says the concrete jungle warfare got everybody in a rage. The city is a great productive environment for entrepreneurs and people who do essential work for everybody else in the world. God bless you all in the city. I love cities. That's where my rock and roll flourishes. But we all need the healing powers of nature. And the Motor City Madman becomes almost flatlined in the duck blind. I'm so at ease. I feel better. The colors of the fall, the natural organic seasonal changes. When I hear the deer approaching, my heartbeat goes up, but I'm as calm and in tune with God's miracle as you can be. So watch Ted Nugent's Spirit of the Wild TV on the Pursuit channel 8 times a week, 36 years, Queen of the Forest. Go to tednugent.com and you'll see we have a Ted Nugent. I keep saying my name because people put my name on all this stuff. It's the Camp for Kids charity where we teach children with a K. K-A-M-P, Camp for Kids. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Ward. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Carol, all the volunteers. 35 years, our children's charity, Ted Nugent Camp for Kids. We'll put it on the screen. We teach children that calming down and fortifying your spirit and your soul and your body with the healing powers of nature will make you more effective in any endeavor, I promise you.
So talk about how hunting, we manage the herd so that the healthy can survive. But how do you deal with that question when people say, well, if you love animals, how do you hunt?
Again, because we're a reasoning predator. We know the capacity of each piece of wild ground, how much it will support. As you keep having kids and grandkids for generation after generation, do they all live in your house? they have to move out.
And every place we go, everywhere we drive our car, even if you were a vegan, I've learned this from you. You are paying somebody else to decimate that whole area so that you can grow your lettuce and your beans.
Sure, if you want to kill the most things, be a vegan and grow vegetables and fruits, because the people who grow your vegetables and fruits kill everything. It's called a disc and a plow in Monsanto chemical warfare. In order to get a salad, you're going to kill millions and millions of creatures, from ground squirrels to birds to snakes and gophers and shrews and voles. Everything dies to protect the vegetables. But, only a lunatic fringe doesn't know this. I taught the world this on the Joe Rogan interview. Thank you, Joe, for continuing to spread this word. But ultimately, what we do is we live with the animals. We own a swamp and a farm and a ranch, and we own habitat, and we know that it has a limited capacity for sustaining life. And so we harvest the surplus every year, because during the winter, there isn't food for wildlife that there was in the spring and summer. It's unbelievable. The Motor City Madman has to be the only place you hear this from. It's never been said in a school. Hunting is essential. It benefits the health and diversity of wildlife. In those areas where they've outlawed hunting, within 1 year, your tax dollars will hire government shooters to go in and kill the animals that have to be removed to safeguard the biodiversity. That I have to explain this is so sad.
Well, but a lot of people, I wasn't raised in a hunting
but
family.
you were raised by a propaganda ministry of the media and academia.
But that's my point.
It's not Bambi.
A lot of people don't know, if they haven't been exposed to people like you. And
you need to be exposed to people like me,
or another hunter to explain, and even hunters.
But I got to tell you, honey, we've experienced in our life a lot of non-hunters. They absolutely get it. Yeah. They absolutely support it. They know that we donate tons, literally every year, 500 million Quality venison meals are distributed to soup kitchens and homeless shelters. The venison that they cherish for a healthy diet in those charities comes from the hunting families. And if you don't harvest the responsible number, the responsible surplus percentage, then the government will come in and waste it. That's what the government does. They waste everything. So hunting is perfect. Watch Ted Nugent's Spirit of the Wild on the Pursuit channel, and I insert all this educational, real world honesty, truth, logic, and common sense. Watch my Real America's Voice,
Yes.
The Spirit Campfire, because I go wild on this stuff because I stop the nature haters. Animal rights people are nature haters. When they've stopped hunting, your tax dollars will be wasted to go in and kill the animals that we failed to responsibly harvest. So it's so simple, even idiots get it. But thank you, Shemane, for doing this on Real America's Voice. Tell everybody you know there's a Real America's Voice, faith and freedom, because it's not just biblical, it's instinctual, it's natural, it's reasonable. When people think, they know that their Aunt Edna had a deer go through the windshield of her Buick because they weren't hunting enough animals.
But I've had people come up to me and say, not many, but maybe one or two over the past 30 years.
Yeah.
Why would you want to kill an animal when you can go to the grocery store and buy it there in wrapped in plastic?
Yeah, that would be
Number
a Democrat.
one, you got chemicals, you got plastics, all those chemicals from the plastic leaching into the meat. Who knows what's in that meat? And there's a lot of disgusting things that I'm going to devote another whole
Except
show
for
to.
Switch to America with
Except
Shemane.
for Switch to America
with Shemane.com. It's the best beef in the world. But ultimately, it's just a lunatic fringe. They're known as Democrats. It's just maniacal denial cult, which are known as liberals. Those people literally, they don't care about the life. They literally will reference wildlife with a cartoon name. How do you kill Bambi? It's a cartoon. Why would you kill Boo Boo? So it is a lunatic fringe, but that's a direct result, a manifestation of cultural deprivation from our anti-education system, the propaganda ministry and the media, Hollywood, all these nasty, dishonest propaganda ministries. They have brainwashed people to think that if you don't hunt, the animals will just live forever and go night-night. I'm going to go night-night.
All right. Well, thank you, honey, so much for explaining that to so many people, because we need to hear it often. And watch Ted's Real America's Voice on Friday night, Saturday night.
I think, you can get it all the time.
You can get it all the time.
YouTube's.
Yep. All right. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Stick around. Don't go away. Did you know that we all have two ages? Our actual age, I'm 63, and our body's internal biological age. What I didn't know is that I've likely lowered my biological age without even knowing it, because we all eat too many processed foods, too much junk food. And even if we try to eat clean, we're not getting enough fruits and veggies. And that means a lot of us are 10, sometimes 20 years older on the inside than on the outside. And that's a ticking time bomb. But a major university study said there's a way to diffuse that bomb. People who drank Field of Greens slowed their aging. No diet change, no extra exercise, just this one shift. Every fruit and veggie in Field of Greens is doctor selected for specific benefits: cell health, heart, lungs, kidneys, metabolism, even healthy weight. So if you're looking to feel better and age slower, aren't we all? Field of Greens is a place where I would recommend that you start. All you have to do is swap your untested green drink for something that actually works. Check out the study and get 20% off with the code FREEDOM at fieldofgreens.com. That's fieldofgreens.com, and the promo code is FREEDOM. My next guest is helping mothers all over the world fight back against fear and chaos. She's the founder of Moms Arise movement, a call for women to take back their homes, their faith, and their peace. Hannah Keeley, welcome back.
Shemane, it is always so good to hang out with you. Thank you so much.
I know we should just make this a regular thing and just chit chat, but
hey, why not? Why not? I love this.
I know. I love spending time with you. So tell us about, for people who didn't see you were on a few weeks ago, what is Moms Arise?
Okay, here's the deal. Moms have played small for too long. And I believe that and I think you feel it too, Shemane. I think, whoever's like watching, listening right now, they feel it too if they're a mom. There has never been, I feel like, more resistance coming against the family. And with culture, media, like there are so many forces that are trying to divide families. And if you can divide a family, then you can divide the entire household and create destruction there. So I just believe it's time for moms to rise up, draw a line in the sand and say, no more. You're not having my family. You're not having my marriage. You're not having my health, my money. Like, it is time to take back what is rightfully ours. So I get a little heated about this because it's so strong inside me. It is so, like, I've seen moms who have come to me and maybe they joined our university, maybe they, tuned into where I was speaking one day. And all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute, I have so much more power than I realized. And I've seen them rise up, and all of a sudden they're paying off debt, and they're enjoying their marriage, and they're developing awesome relationships with their kids. And this is what it's about. Like, the mom is the heart of the home. And if you can get to that heart, you can destroy everything. So it's time to take it back.
Do you think that's why moms are under attack, spiritually speaking, because they are the heart of the home?
100%. Here's the deal that I think a lot of moms don't realize. We often talk about, like, the husband is the head and the wife is the heart. That's not a priority system. That is a positioning and partnership. So even for single moms, like, Jesus says, like, I'm gonna be that for you, whatever you need. So whether you're married or single, you are the heart of the home. If you look at the cross, I love that illustration you just put up there. If you look at the cross, it's divided in two axes. There's a horizontal and a vertical. And I believe the horizontal is that masculine energy, going out there and expanding and producing. But I believe women, moms specifically, are the heart. And it's that vertical axis is joining earth to heaven. And it's like we have a portal. I mean, look at us. We are like portals of creation, right? And so we're a portal of so much power and creativity. And of course, that's going to come under resistance. Of course, that's going to be like, Satan's not going to roll out the red carpet and just let us step into our power and authority. Right. So the Bible says the violent take it by force. And so it's time for moms to rise up, realize they are the most powerful, influential force for the generations to come, and start, like, stepping into that.
Okay, so give us some examples. What are practical ways that women can rise above fear and exhaustion? I don't know how you do it. You have what, 7 kids?
Yeah. I mean, they're all grown, but, like, I remember those moments, I remember feeling overwhelmed and exhausted. But if the enemy can get you tired, like, he'll either take you out or he'll wear you out. And for a lot of moms, they just feel worn out. And so I think the first thing we need to do, like, we always want to, okay, what budgeting app do I need to get to get control of my money? What is the new, like, routine in my home to take care of clutter? It doesn't start there, because a mom is also dealing with mom brain. What we have to do is start taking authority over our mind. So you said it. You said fear. That is actually the root of all the things that bother moms. The anxiety, the depression is all rooted in fear. But here's the deal, Shemane. I don't know if you realize this, but the mom brain is wired for fear. So if you think about it, like, the fears you have as a mom are not the same as the fears you had before you had children, because now your brain has rewired. And now it's like you're constantly scanning the world for all the potential threats. And so when you have mom brain, it's wired for fear. You have to recognize it, just like you were talking about, recognizing those things that are coming against you. And then the Bible says to take every thought captive. What does that mean? Like, think about what you're thinking about. Is this fearful? Is it creating a sense of peace or anxiety? Is it creating a sense of engagement or isolation? And as soon as you realize, wait, this isn't helping me, look at the thought and say, is this really true right now? And sometimes just that first step is such a great way to calm your nervous system, regulate, and then you're able to be more productive and more energetic in your home.
I want to talk about this event, but I want to tell you kind of a personal story that my son and my daughter-in-law have already spoke about. But uh, they had their baby River at home, and within a few hours, we had to rush River to the hospital. And when I got the call, I was in the car. I only live a mile away from them. I was in the car, ready to rock. I had everything they needed. I called the sheriff on the way. I said, "Do not pull me over. I'm driving 100." I laid it out for them. And as soon as we got to the hospital, I got a baby here that needs medical attention stat. Like, I was this person you would probably look at and go, who is that? And then afterwards, I apologized to Ballard Rock. I'm like, "I'm sorry if I, overstepped, but I'm the person you want on your team if things go down." And they both went, "Absolutely, 150%. So I think that moms, unfortunately, we don't do those types of things until we're pushed into a corner. But I wanted to share that with you because you and I are on the same page. In fact, we are on the same page. I'm going to be speaking at your event coming up. So tell us about that.
Okay. First of all, I love that you shared that story because that's a mama bear story. Right there. That is a mama bear. And we all have a mama bear inside us.
Yep.
And I just believe it's time for that mama bear to get out of hibernation and get out there and let your voice be heard. We've been silent too long. So Moms Arise. This is an event we're having. It's all virtual, so you can tune in from anywhere. And it's 3 days. Like if Jesus was able to rise from the dead in 3 days. Like, imagine what can happen in your life as a mom. So this is where we're going to really awaken up to our authority, our power, rise up, learn how to equip ourselves to move forward. And I want moms to understand this because of that mama bear instinct. Going to this event is not just going to be for you. I believe that attending this event, those 3 days, what God can do in your life as a mom is not only for you. It's not only about you getting out of anxiety or depression or overwhelm or overstimulation or chaos. It's not just about that. That's just the beginning point. It's about what you're doing for generations that come after you. Like, I think about it, my 7 kids now, they're having kids. Their life trajectory is completely different because when I was a younger mom, I decided to wake up. I decided to rise up and I decided to change my life so I could change my children's life. This is really why we're doing it.
Yes. And my part of speaking, what I want to really address is for women. And you could have had your kid, you talk about moms, you could be older, like my age, younger, like your age, in every different season, because we need to fill up our cups. We have been draining our cups for so long. And I want to speak to that woman who feels like she's exhausted and she doesn't, she's been giving and giving and giving. And I want to teach you how to fill up your cup and stand in faith and walk in faith without fear and move forward. So Hannah, I got my own code, right?
Yes. If you go to momsarise.com/Shemane, it's right there. So make sure that you go there because we're going to have so many special gifts for you and your followers. And this is going to be a powerful thing. And when you said that about women having their cups filled up, I need to share something that I think is so powerful with moms right now. If I asked you this, would you die for your kids? I just believe every mom would say yes. I mean, you would say that, Shemane. You would say, of course. Of course. But the real question is, would you live for your kids? And that's the hardest thing. Would you rise up for your children if you knew their lives were going to be tremendously shifted by what you did? That's the thing we don't realize. Like the Bible says, behold, I put before you life and death. Choose life that you and your descendants may live. So just going to this event could be your first yes that you say to choosing life, not just for you, but for all of your children and their children's children. It's not going to stop with you. It's going to start with you.
Well, Hannah, thank you so much. I am so excited to be a part of this event. Thank you for asking me. I want every woman watching this program, and guys, if you're watching, you have a woman in your life that needs to hear this. They all do. Go to momsarise.com/Shemane and get enrolled. The greatest thing I'll show you. Well, I got slippers on right now. You can attend this event with your slippers on, like I'm going to be doing. Hannah Keeley, thank you so much for joining me. You're such a light, and I'm so glad to know you.
Oh, Shemane, you are a blessing. Thanks so much.
All right, we'll see you soon. Don't go away, everyone. We'll be right back. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a moment when you thought something is wrong, but no one believes me? You go to the doctor, you get the blood work, take the supplements. I mean, dozens and dozens of supplements. You do the workouts, but you still don't feel right. I used to be like that. I used to wake up ready to take on the world, and then I got sick and almost died from toxic mold. If that's you, I want you to know you're not alone. They were telling me that I was just stressed, or it was my hormones, or my favorite, it's just part of getting older. But what if it's all not age or stress or anxiety? What if your body isn't broken? It's burdened. That's what happened to me. In the early 2000s, I was living what most people would call a dream life. Our home was featured on MTV Cribs. We had all these luxuries, including a guitar-shaped pool. But the truth is that while that episode was airing, we were actually living in a fifth wheel camper parked on our own driveway. Now, I like camping, but not like that. And nothing says rock star lifestyle like living in 100 square feet with your husband, your son, and your dogs. We had no idea that the house that looked so perfect on that MTV Cribs episode was actually making us all sick. Migraines and insomnia and brain fog and chronic fatigue, and doctor after doctor after doctor just said, you're just stressed. But I knew that something was wrong. And then one day during a remodel, we ripped up the carpet and found deadly black mold. That was the day our life changed forever. And we lost almost everything. Our dream home, we had to tear it down. But the worst part was our health. But also, I would think about one of the main things, my son's baby pictures. I don't have any of those. That was before digital media. And we moved into that fifth wheel. And for a long time, I just felt powerless. I didn't feel like living a rock star life. But over time, I realized something really important, that it wasn't my body that had betrayed me. It had been warning me with migraines and insomnia. The real betrayal came from people in systems that I trusted, the builders who cut corners, the doctors who didn't understand environmental illness and just wrote a prescription, and the culture that tells women to stay quiet when we women know that something else is wrong. And that's when I discovered a truth that I want every woman to hear today, and guys too. Your body is not your enemy. It's actually your messenger. And discernment, thinking that something is wrong a lot, it's not paranoia. It's divine protection. God designed you with the ability to sense when something is off. But somewhere along the way, we stopped trusting that still small voice, and we started outsourcing our wisdom to experts, to trends, to noise. And in doing so, we silenced the one voice that was trying to save us. Healing begins when you reclaim that voice. And over the years, I developed a framework I call Recognize, Remediate, and Recover. And it's not just about toxic mold. It's about every toxin that clouds your body, your mind, and your spirit. Recognize means being honest, admitting that something's wrong. Awareness isn't a weakness, it's warfare. Discernment is your superpower. Remediate means to have courage, the courage to tear out what's toxic, whether it's in your home, even your relationships. or some of your habits. If it costs you peace, it's toxic. And sometimes you just got to walk away, even if it means stepping into the unknown. And I know that's hard. Recover means rebuilding slowly and intentionally and faithfully. You can't heal your body in the same environment that got you sick. So you're not broken. You're being rebuilt. Grace for me became my medicine, and rest became part of what I protested at first, but I know I needed it, especially self-care. It was hard for me, but self-care is not selfish. It's part of being discernment. And through that process, I learned that healing isn't just physical. You've got to take care of your body. It's the only one you got. But it's also spiritual, because when you begin to discern what's making you sick, physically, emotionally, or spiritually, God begins to reveal what He's been trying to heal you all along with. So if you've been doubting yourself, stop it. You're not crazy. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're discerning. And when you follow that discernment, when you choose truth over discomfort, peace over performance, and faith over fear, you don't just survive toxicity, you rise above it. All right, guys, I wanted to share that with you and let you know that you can find out more in both of my books, Abundantly Well and Killer House, both available on Amazon. And also, I have a book called 4 Minutes to Happy. Oh, yeah. Kill It and Grill It that Ted and I wrote together. That's a New York Times bestseller. Okay, before I go, I want to share a few of my favorite things that have really made a difference for me and my family. And they're not just products. I actually use them, and I love them, and I trust them. And if you haven't read any of my books, of course, go check out Abundantly Well, where I share my personal story, and Killer House, from near death, all about toxic mold through healing, and both available on Amazon.com. So for everything else, visit ShemaneNugent.rocks. You can also follow me on Instagram for more faith, freedom, wellness, and a few new surprises coming up. We're going to be revamping the whole website, and we've got a new program coming out. But one of my favorite products I want to talk to you about is Rocasa Organics. These clean products are so clean that you could actually eat them. I use them in almost every area of my life, from my skincare to cleaners, to soaps and shampoos, to lotions. And I trust Rocasa because I'm a label reader. After I got sick, you heard my story. After I got sick, I had to become a label reader. I can tell if you're washing your clothes in Downy fabric softener just by standing 5 feet away from you. I can smell it. With Rocasa, they use essential oils, not toxic fragrance that's going to cause you headaches or upper respiratory problems or even insomnia. Ted and I were invited to spend a weekend at a friend's mansion, like billionaire's mansion. And this was years ago, before discernment became my superpower. And neither of us could sleep. We were in the most luxurious bedding that you could possibly imagine. And we were wired the whole night. That's what those toxic chemicals can do to you. So check out rocasaorganics.com. Check that out and get a 20% discount by using the promo code FAITH, I believe it is, or Shemane. And then also, of course, support Mike Lindell, support those patriots that support this show, because this country, it's the greatest, like I started out with this program, it's the greatest country on earth. But we're giving up so many of our freedoms, and we have to get back to the essentials, to being the greatest country on earth. And that means being self-sufficient. That means buying products made in the USA and supporting those patriots who put their lives on the line. Mike is going to bat for us and has gone to bat for us, and he needs your support. So go to mypillow.com and use the promo code FAITH. Don't forget, everyone, Esther 4:14 says, "You were born for such a time as this." I honestly believe things are happening fast. We're living in spiritual warfare. Some people say the end times. Who knows? Nobody knows the time or the place. But I know this. it's really important for us to keep our eyes on God, focused on God. So whenever you're feeling a little down, grab your Rocassa Organics, grab your Bible, grab my books, grab your pillow, and get a good night's sleep. Love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you right here next week.